chairman, Conservative Party USA, is on the line with me. Harold, welcome.
Thank you, Frank. Thank your audience, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with them.
Well, I really appreciate you coming from. You're coming to us from California today. Is that right?
That's right, sunny California. We don't have any snow yet, but it's coming on the eastern part of the state. But right now we have about 70 degrees.
Oh, we got you matched right here in North Carolina. Clear blue skies, and all right, call it mid-60s. But anyway, thanks for joining me today, Harold. And you're the chairman, the vice chair of the Conservative Party of California. You're the chairman and chief political officer of the Conservative Party USA. Is that right?
That's right. I was originally president or chairman of the California operation, and gradually, through no fault of my own, they asked me to come on board and help drive the party nationally. So
well, congratulations.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. And you're also, let's make sure we let everyone know, you're also a veteran of the United States Marine Corps.
That's correct. I was stationed mostly in California. I was a fixed wing and a helicopter pilot. I was stationed at Santa Ana, California. I did a couple of things, and I was a squadron legal officer. I really enjoyed my time in the Marine Corps and learned a lot about leadership through doing versus saying. And I think everyone should get a chance to join the military. I think the military has done a great job teaching our young people. Of course, right now it's one of the most respected organizations in American government.
It's one of the last proud institutions we have, and I bring that up only to say thank you for serving. You probably get that all the time, but I wanted to make sure our listeners understood you've been out there on the front lines helping us.
Well, I had no combat experience.
That's okay.
But I was in the Marine Corps for 7 years, so
that's great.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
All right, Michael. You like Michael or Harold? What do you prefer to be called?
My friends call me Harry, so
okay.
Harold's fine, and Harold's fine.
Okay, good. Harold, give us your insights, if you don't mind, on the GOP field as we see it today.
Well, it is certainly varied, and so I'm going to speak as an individual.
Sure, of course.
Right now, we have a policy of my policy, actually, that the Conservative Party won't endorse anyone officially until around mid-January when the field shakes out.
Okay.
So this is an unofficial party discussion here, but obviously there's all those people that have been running, the 8 candidates, are better qualified than the current occupant of the White House. And of course, they all have their strengths, and of course, they all have their weaknesses. Of course, so we have a lot to choose from strictly from an emotional and head. There's always this problem, dichotomy, head versus heart.
Right.
So heart-wise, of course, the Conservative Party really likes Rick Santorum because he's socially and fiscally conservative. Head-wise, I think that we like Newt Gingrich because, obviously he's got most knowledgeable, experienced, can stand toe-to-toe with Obama. But it doesn't look like Newt is going to be able to cross the finish line in the primaries.
Did you see that Iowa poll this morning from the Des Moines Register?
Yeah, he's in third place, right?
Actually, no, it's changed for him, unfortunately. I'll give you a little heads up. This is a poll released this morning. They have Kane at 23, Romney 22, Paul 12, Bachmann 8, Perry 7, Newt 7.
Yeah.
It's still about the same where he's been.
That basically confirms what I was saying.
Yeah.
He is a true knowledgeable conservative. The problem with Newt is that he has never been a team player, and he had some baggage there that is keeping him back.
Sure.
And of course, his time has come and gone. He's been around a while. He's a little bit long in the tooth, so it's in that regard. So that leaves Perry and essentially Perry, Kane, and Romney. Of course, Kane is very popular because of his new approach to doing things. He's down to earth. He's funny. He's personable. Of course, he doesn't have the organization or the money yet, and he hasn't demonstrated that he's actually serious about running a national campaign.
Yeah.
He's campaigning in Alabama, but the primary is in Iowa and Massachusetts. So, and I heard today, one of the funniest things I heard today is that commercial that he did with his campaign manager smoking that cigarette.
Yep.
Well, the fact that he's campaigning in Alabama, maybe that campaigning manager isn't really smoking a cigarette.
Ah, interesting. Interesting.
Might be smoking something else.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. Well, okay. So
Perry is great. Perry is great. He's conservative in many ways, but he has not acquitted himself very well in the public sphere. He has stepped all over himself. He has stepped all over his messages, and he hasn't run a very credible campaign. And then, of course, there's Romney, who is, in many ways, the best qualified candidate, but his flaw is that he has his reputation of not being a true conservative and has somewhat unfounded his reputation for flip-flopping on every issue. Yeah. He has done on some things, but not everything. So it's a wide-open field. But I think, based on what I've seen so far, it looks like Romney's in the lead and has the ability to carry forward to the.
Yeah, he seems like the most establishment Republican. I'll take you back.
That's not an endorsement. That's just.
No, I'm with you, buddy. If you've qualified your words very well, don't worry. I want to take you back just a step when you mentioned Rick Perry. I don't know if you saw him today on Fox News with Chris Wallace this morning. What was the phrasing? He doesn't acquit himself well in public, I think you said. And boy, oh boy, was that true again today. The poor man. He's a Texas governor. He's been in there 10 years. Somehow, when he gets in public, he just can't really convey his thoughts in an adequate way.
He can in Texas. You have to understand he's a good old.
Well, I'm talking about just the substance, the actual knowledge. Forget the phrasing in the syntax. I'm talking about the knowledge and the substance of what he says.
Yes, which is again, he's as much as we loved him all at the very beginning, the idea of Perry as president turned out to be a much better thing than Perry actually being a candidate.
Yeah.
And he's wonderful in person. He's good in local politics. He's good in Texas. The problem with Rick was that he didn't prepare himself adequately to put himself on the national stage, and it's becoming more and more apparent. As much as true conservatives really liked him, he's been a big disappointment. And conservatives are still trying to help prop him up, but he's every step of the way he's hurt himself. Not because Romney hasn't hurt him, and Bachmann hasn't hurt him, the other candidates haven't hurt him. He's hurt himself more than anything.
Yeah. And
so maybe he needs to recalibrate and think about next time.
That's right. Well said, Harold. And you actually also come out of a commercial banking background. Wow. On Wall Street, and I come from a similar world, and I love the reference you just essentially made when it comes to Perry was buy the rumor, sell the fact.
I'm sorry, I missed that part.
When it comes to Perry, the analogy out of the banking world, buy the rumor, sell the fact. We loved him before he came out on the campaign trail. Once he got out there, we sold him.
Yes. And again, everybody was pulling for him. The reason why I think one of the major reasons why he's plummeted in the polls is because people who are so disappointed in him, his supporters, really wanted for him to do well, and he hasn't.
Yeah.
And, there's a thin line between love and hate.
I know.
And that's what happened to him. Ardent supporters really loved him, turned on him when he came out, and as Brett Hume once said, he threw up all over himself.
Right, that was a beautiful phrase. Yeah. Harold, let me take you just a couple more questions before we run out of time. I want to get you back to the conservative issues. Yes. What's the health of your party?
We're growing slowly but surely, as you would imagine. Our objective, obviously, is to tell people and inform people that the two major parties have failed America, and there's evidence, a whole broad range of things.
Hey, Harold, let me interrupt you for a moment. Let me just reintroduce you. By the way, for you listening out there, this is Harold Michael Hervey, chairman of the Conservative Party USA, and he's just commenting on the question, the health of the party. Please go right ahead, Harold.
Yes. Obviously, we're not in the league with the Libertarian Party yet or the Constitution Party yet, but we're gaining traction slowly but surely. And people are beginning to understand when they see what's going on in Washington that the two major parties have failed America, as evidenced by our $15 trillion national debt and rising, our continuing $1 trillion-plus deficits, the decay in our education system, our erosion of standing in the world. All of this has happened because of the duplicity and complicity of the two major parties.
Right.
The Conservative Party is designed from the ground up to be an alternative to the Republic Dem Party from the ground up, because we are socially and fiscally conservative in every respect.
Oh, on that note, Harold, why don't you tell us what you think or what your party thinks conservatism is?
Well, conservatism starts with an adherence and a respect for the Constitution. And the reason why America is in such bad shape today, fiscally and socially, is because our two major parties have strayed away from that, have abandoned that. And one of the things that, just like people who really love Perry now don't like him so much, as a reformed Republican, I've been a long-time Republican, and I blame the Republican Party first and foremost for this decline, because they know they're supposed to know better.
That's right. They moved left with the center over the past 40 years.
That's correct.
Yep.
And they, as Reagan said, about the Democrats, he didn't leave the Democrats, the Democrats left him. Well, the Republican Party, for the past 15 years, has left conservatives. And so we want to provide...
Harold, 30 more seconds, pal, okay?
Yes. We're going to provide the true conservatives a place where they can not have to look over their shoulders, not have to fight rhinos for the heart and soul of their party. We're conservative socially and fiscally from the ground up, and we're never going to disappoint them. And I would like to have people take a look at our website and our platform.
Yeah, tell us the website.
At www.conservativpartyusa.com. You'll love conservative. If you're a conservative...
Listen, Harold, I'm with you, buddy. I'm as conservative as they come, so you're preaching to the choir here, pal.
Well, but it's everybody else.
Yep.
We have to talk to, not just you.
No, I'm with you.
I know I got you. It's your audience I want to preach to. I want to approach too.
Go ahead. Yeah, I love it.
Well, I think you'll see when people take a look at our platform, common sense conservative platform, that they really like what they have to say. And one of the things that, especially that you like, is we have just launched a Buy America campaign.
Oh, yes.
We just launched economic patriotism campaign.
Oh, nice.
And that's really important because the only way that America is going to survive is that people understand that they have to support America. If the foreign countries don't care about us, if our own corporate leaders don't care about us, then America is doomed.
That's a perfect way to leave it. And this is what I say to you, Harold. Always try to buy American. ATTBA, buy American.
Exactly. And the right thing, as you say in Frank's Rules, the right thing is usually the hardest thing to do.
That's right. We're going to get cut off. Great to talk with you, Harold. Stay strong, okay?
Bye.
See you, buddy.